Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the Flamin' Hot Grilled Cheese Burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
How's your day going?
Going good. Thank you. Yes.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
Really, guys?
What? Jackson's always has those game ready.
Let's go!
Hey Bronco Nation, this is Boise State football wide receiver Ben Ford. I've had to face some setbacks on the field this past season, but toughness isn't about staying down. It's about getting back up. I am proud to represent Lithia Ford of Boise, where you can find the largest selection of Ford trucks that are built tough and, like me, handle the hits and keep pushing forward. Come check out the incredible inventory and competitive pricing at Lithia Ford of Boise. And when you buy here, you're not just getting a truck, you're supporting Boise State athletics and Lithia Ford NIL partnerships. Come see us at Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, and our major sponsors, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, rowpaint.com, and the Blue and Orange store. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're proud to stand with Boise State athletics. Through our NIL marketing partnerships, we're investing in the future of student athletes. Lithia Ford of Boise, here to get you there, wherever that may be. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. Broadcasting from the Sun Cruiser Studios, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
we doing, Bronco Nation? Happy Monday to you here at Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com. We are in the Sun Cruiser studios. Make sure you get a Sun Cruiser at your local gas station or grocery store, and whether it's the vodka lemonades, whether it's the vodka teas, peach, raspberry, strawberry lemonade, pink lemonade, so many varieties and flavors from Sun Cruiser, and appreciate them for sponsoring our studio. You know I'll be having some tonight for that Kansas-Houston game. Always love waking up on Monday when it's Big Monday as a Kansas alum, so I'll be watching that Kansas-Houston game. Cannot wait for that tonight. And you know I'll be having a couple of Sun Cruisers while I do. Our title sponsor, of course, is Lithia Ford of Boise at LithiaFordBoise.com. Newer pre-owned vehicles, now's the time. Never a better time to get that newer pre-owned vehicle from Jim Sturk and Company over at Lithia Ford of Boise. And you saw the commercial with Ben Ford. They're doing so much for the NIL game, taking care of Spencer Danielson, Jeremiah Dickey, a lot of administrators, coaches of vehicles. So you want to support somebody that supports Boise State and supports BNN in a big way. That is our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise. Check them out online at LithiaFordBoise.com. Got the shout-outs coming in. Sports Guy 10 is always first, or most of the time first there, watching from Minnesota. Appreciate you today. Nathaniel saying good morning, Bronco Nation. Good morning from Idaho Falls. Appreciate you, Dylan, for watching. John Buchanan, still working OT and watching from Indiana. Good morning. Good morning to you, John. Next weekend, or I guess next week, a week away, a week from tomorrow, we'll be seeing John in Boise for senior night. And I think that interview has to happen, right? We got to get John Buchanan on the show next week. Cannot wait for that, to get him out in Boise in an Extra Mile Arena for senior night next week. And yeah, getting excited for Vegas. T-minus 13 days. Then he corrects himself 12 days, Nathaniel says. But yeah, looking forward to it. I changed my flight, so we'll be down there on Monday. So if the Broncos, if the ladies are in the semifinals, we'll be down there for the semifinals and the finals to cover the women on Monday and Tuesday, and then the men will play on Wednesday. But we'll have full coverage. Looking forward to that. Cannot wait to get down to Las Vegas for the conference tournament. And our friend Ken Dick, got the chance to meet Ken from Tennessee, and he was in town. He was a team manager for that 1975-76 team, heading back to the airport to fly to Tennessee. Had a great weekend celebrating our 50th anniversary. Great to see you, BJJ, Johnny Ballgame, Nathan. Yeah, Ken came over and said hello, and that was great to meet Ken and put a name to a face. And he was out in town. You saw him on the court there getting honored as part of the 50th anniversary of the team that won or got to the first NCAA tournament game in program history. And it was great to meet Ken. So appreciate you for coming over and saying hello. Blake says, watching in Walla Walla. By the way, Ken, safe travels back to Boise, or back to Tennessee. And appreciate you for watching in Walla Walla. We appreciate that. Always appreciate the shout outs. Let folks know where you're watching from. We'll make sure to get those out throughout the show. I am forgot to do this before the show, so I apologize, but I am sending out I'm going to put the standings on the screen here for the Mountain West in a second, and I forgot to do this. So I'm cropping the photo I took and I'm sending it to myself on my computer. So I apologize for the bad hosting here on the show, but going to talk Mountain West today. Going to talk Boise State. Got a lot to get to on today's show. So you can get your thoughts in, your comments in. I'm riding solo today. No Prater, no Johnny, no Tuss. Mondays, we typically have a football guest during football season. So we do not have a basketball guest today. So I'm riding solo. So if you enjoy it when I'm on, you're going to enjoy today's show. If you like hearing Prater or Johnny or Tuss better, and don't enjoy hearing me and my thoughts, then you're not going to like today's show, and we'll see you tomorrow. So D-Ray is watching from Melbourne, Florida. We know that it's not Melbourne, Australia. At least I don't think he took a vacation, but always appreciate that. I always love this. Watching, we got Florida, Walla Walla, Idaho Falls, Minnesota, and watching from Fairview and Cole. Appreciate you just as much. Appreciate all of you guys for letting us know where you're watching from, and we always do appreciate that. And I try to give everybody a shout out if we can in terms of where you're watching from and all that good stuff here. So again, we have a game to talk about from Saturday. We have a game to talk about on Tuesday. And we'll do both of those here on Bronco Nation News. But I got to give a quick shout out, or at least a quick mention. How about that hockey game yesterday? I know our intro says we're the only show that talks nothing but Boise State sports, but I think for our country, I can take 30 seconds here or a minute and say that was a lot of fun. That was awesome yesterday. Didn't sleep much, didn't care. I set the alarm, and it was a Sunday morning, and I said, you know what? I don't care. I'm setting that alarm for 5:55, and it was like 5:45, and I rolled over and said, good enough. I'm getting up, and I watched every second of that thing, and it was awesome. Now, I do enjoy hockey. Like, I'm a Blues fan. I like hockey, so I knew, most of the players and know how the game is. I mean, I was pretty in tune to that. It was in the level of skill and the level of speed and just how awesome that was back and forth. It was just an unbelievable game. I've said it before, but I am a Jordan Binnington fan. He's the Blues goalie, and he was the Canada goalie, so that did make it a little tough. Colton Parenko also on the Blues. So I wanted to see those guys do well, and I felt bad for Binnington when the goal was in. But obviously I'm USA all the way, so I was pumped to see USA. I should have worn one of my USA hats or something today, but I was pumped to see the USA win it, and my family kind of kept waking up, trickling. I mean, it was about 6:10 when the game started, so that first goal for USA was about 6:30, 6:25, and I had a little quick outburst. I don't think I quite woke anybody up with that, but end of the first period, one of my kids got up, and then I think it was middle of the second period for my other son and wife at some point, and we all four watched the third period together and the overtime together, and that was so much fun. I knew the game was going to end quick. I don't know why they're talking about a second overtime. Like, when you go 3-on-3, that thing is going to end pretty quick when you go 3-on-3. Regardless of who the players are, you're not going 20-minute period with 3-on-3 with no goals. And typically in the regular season, when you get the puck, you don't give it up in overtime. So I was pretty nervous when Canada had possession of the puck, but USA got it back, went on that rush, and unbelievable moment. Awesome when they brought Goudreau's kids out there. That was, hard not to get tears for that. I mean, the whole thing was just really cool, seeing the medals, and pretty cool. And I hope that folks that were maybe average hockey fans or don't watch a lot of hockey maybe watch that. And I know it's a patriotic moment more than anything, but hopefully maybe some of you or the folks out there that watch but aren't super big into hockey, maybe we'll get into hockey down the stretch here, because I thought that was a pretty cool moment and awesome time for our country, but also for the game of hockey, because that was a lot of fun. That was really, really cool. And I mean, I was super nervous. And yes, thank you, Hellebuck. Connor Hellebuck, the Winnipeg Jets goalie, got pulled last year twice, I think it was, in the series against my Blues. They had the best record in the NHL, and that game went 7 games, and the Blues were 2 seconds away from knocking them out in the first round last year. He was always kind of known as the guy that couldn't win the big game. And I'll never say a negative thing about Connor Hellebuck again. That was an amazing performance. Now, the one save was a little lucky with the paddle, the stick, the end of the stick that hit when the net was wide open. And then there was another time where I think it was McKinnon missed the wide open net. But you know what? We'll take it. And he played tremendous. He was awesome. USA. And I saw the video of Donald Trump inviting them to the State of the Union tomorrow night. So we'll see if they end up going, and how that impacts. There's games on Wednesday in the NHL. So I don't know. The Four Nations is happening again, but I don't think it's for another year or two, because you have the Olympics every 4 years. And then I think the Four Nations is going to be the two in the middle there. So you'll have a year with nothing, and then you'll have the Four Nations, and you'll have a year with nothing. Then you'll have the Olympics, I believe, is the plan moving forward. They might add more teams to the Four Nations. I know there's some different things they're talking about. But they got the call from Donald Trump. They were all chugging Coronas during the interview, I believe. And it was kind of a funny interview, funny couple-minute call, actually. But I guess he invited them to the State of the Union, and I think them and the women's team were, I don't know if he was just talking out of the side of his you-know-what, or if they're actually going. But I think they were invited, and the timing lines up. But there are NHL games on Wednesday. You would imagine anybody in the Olympics would get to be a healthy scratch for a game on Wednesday and not play the first game, especially the goalies. But I mean, these are games that count in the standings, and you want your guy back. So we'll see what happens with all that. But awesome moment for USA. Pumped for them. Congrats to Team USA, and hopefully everybody got a chance, if you're, an American, to watch part of that and wake up on a Sunday morning, even if you flipped it on for the third period or the overtime. I thought it was pretty cool. And it was a cool moment in the Reigns house. I'll tell you that. We were all, the kids got excited and we're slapping five and everything and celebrating. So, USA, that was a lot of fun. And if you enjoyed that, turn on some regular season hockey. Find a team, whether it's Seattle, whether it's Utah, whether it's Vegas, heck, whether it's my Blues. Just find a team or just watch some games. And it was pretty cool, And the one rule I don't like is no fighting. In the Four Nations game, they all, like, right on the opening faceoff, you had like 3 fights to kind of set the tone. I guess in the Olympics, if you drop the gloves, you're kicked out of the game. So I didn't like that as much. I don't like that rule. Let them get physical. If you want to fight for your country and get a little brawl going, I don't have a problem with that. And I'm not getting political on this show. I've seen all kinds of comments and talks about this. He's wasting taxpayer money on this trip and all this. If you look at his Twitter feed, he had 3 or 4 work meetings while he was over there. I don't have a huge problem with it. I can see why some might, I guess. I don't have any problem with it, actually. But yeah, he was the FBI director was like chugging beers in the locker room with the team. And I know I saw some people had some hot takes about that. I would have liked to have seen fighting can be strategic. It was because of the Four Nations. There isn't any fighting. Great games, 2 best teams in the world. Yeah. And there was also, like, just left and right, just all-stars and future Hall of Famers all over the ice. It sucked that Sidney Crosby couldn't get out there. Felt bad for him on the Canada side that he couldn't play, but regardless, awesome game for USA and awesome morning for our country. Wish it would have been a little later in the day, but you know what? Most people are at least home at 6 a.m. and Mountain Time, 8 a.m. Eastern before church and things. So maybe you end up still getting good viewership and everything just because people weren't doing kids' baseball practices or whatever else later in the day like you might have had if it was at 1 or 3 or whatever. But either way, cool for USA. Happy they won. And congrats to USA on that, and looking forward to getting back to the hockey season here. Spring training baseball underway as well. I think my Cardinals are on TV today, so I may try to sneak a little watch a glimpse of that before we head down to get interviews. Leon Rice, some players talking today, and they've got a game tomorrow. Quick turnaround when you play these Saturday, Tuesday games. Luckily, it's a home game. They're not having to turn around and leave town today, but you win on Saturday, you get your Sunday, and then you wake up Monday morning and you're like, wow, there's another game tomorrow. Boise State will host Wyoming. Second game in a row that Boise State will play a team coming off a huge upset win. They had San Jose State on Saturday after San Jose State had beaten Nevada on the road, and or they were at home when Nevada was on the road, and they upset them by 17. And then San Jose coming in as a scary team, and Boise State played pretty well in the second half and beat them. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then you get Wyoming. They go down to Grand Canyon and get a win. Big win for Wyoming at Grand Canyon. I'm not sure if they stayed on the road. I assume they did, but I'm not sure. I doubt they went back to Laramie for 24 hours, especially given how many charter flights they probably get versus commercial and having to drive. So I'm guessing Wyoming just stayed on the road. But hey, hats to Wyoming. Big time win, and Wyoming all of a sudden is coming in feeling pretty good about themselves as well. So it's going to be a very interesting game tomorrow night, and certainly a game Boise State could lose if they don't play well. Here is the updated look at the Mountain West standings. Took this from the TV broadcast after a crazy weekend. Utah State losing at Nevada actually probably would have helped Boise State to get Nevada to lose that. You would probably at this point want to just root for Utah State to win out. I know everybody likes chaos and things and upsets, but probably for seeding purposes, Boise State would have preferred that Nevada lose that, because if you can get a tiebreaker with Nevada and UNLV and Boise State, you would have had a chance for Boise State to move up in the standings. So I'm pretty sure Nevada still has a couple tough games left, but that was a big win for them at home. And you look right now, Boise State is 7th, 8-8 in the conference, but tied with Colorado State. Colorado State is right there, also in 7th place. They're playing very well. Colorado State has won, and that record is wrong. I think they're not 10-3 for Colorado State on the overall record. There's a number missing there for one of them. But if you look at Colorado State and Boise State being tied in the standings, nope, just said that. They're not 10-3. That's a typo. Boise State plays at Colorado State to finish out the season. That's going to all of a sudden be a very tough game, because Colorado State 5-0, they've won 5 games in a row. And you look at what Colorado State is doing all the way up to 88 at Ken Palm here, and they just beat San Diego State at home by 9. So the other wins, San Jose State, Air Force, Wyoming, nothing to really go, right home about. But the last 3, Wyoming's top 100, and that's a rivalry game. And then they went to UNLV and won, and then just beat San Diego State at home. So kudos to Colorado State. They've got to play Fresno at home, at San Jose. Both of those are should be wins. And then they have New Mexico on the road. That's going to be tough. But then that game against Boise State at home and to wrap up the regular season for both teams could have major implications on the seeding because you look at, Boise State and Colorado State tied right now for 7th. Boise State did beat Colorado State in the first game. So if they finish tied, you'd go to who did well against the top of the standings. And they have a win over San Diego State now, so that's going to be big. Boise State certainly needs to win that game next Tuesday. Believe it or not, 8 days, a week from tomorrow, is senior night against San Diego State, and that game could mean a lot for the standings here. But if you're Boise State, you're in 7th. You'd like to find a way to get up to 5th, and the problem with that is that you needed Nevada to lose that because they would have had 7. You lose any of the tiebreakers with Grand Canyon, so you're probably fine if Grand Canyon gets 4th. But honestly, I'm not sure you wanted to be 5 and have to play Grand Canyon in the quarterfinals. So a lot still to decipher out here. I'm looking at game times more than I am opponents right now, to be completely honest. And the 6th seed has the worst times. If you're the 6th seed, you literally play at like the 9:30 p.m. Boise game every night till the championship. Like the 6th seed has the worst. I think that you're in the 8:30 Pacific time game in the first round, second round, and third round if you win. So I think the 6th seed is just awful for times. And so, I think the 5 seed would have been the best. 6 seed's not terrible. You get, San Jose in the first game. Then you play the 3 seed, which could be New Mexico, who you've beaten twice. So regardless, you're going to have to beat some good teams to do it. It is what it is at this point. They've kind of made the bed, so to speak, that they've got to sleep in now. And so you look at where they're at, they're 4 games left, 2 at home, 2 on the road, Wyoming at home, at Fresno on Saturday, San Diego State at home, at Colorado State to finish out the regular season. Now, according to Ken Palm, Boise State's favored by 7 tomorrow night, favored by 3 at Fresno, which again, that's going to be a really tough, sneaky game. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. And then by 1 against San Diego State. Boise State is favored to beat San Diego State by 1 and then lose by 2 at Colorado State. So Boise State could very easily go 4-0, or they could very easily go 1-3, frankly, in these final games. I think the Fresno, the San Diego State, and Colorado State game all essentially coin flip type games. And that's basically what Ken Palm is saying as well. 60% chance or less in all 3 of those. Wyoming, you're favored by 7 tomorrow. That needs to be a win, but I mean, 7's nothing in college basketball. So 4 games to go. Interesting. You look at it though, Boise State 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They are 7-3 in their last 10. They're playing better. You got a chance to win a couple more games here, hopefully with Wyoming, and they are at 16-11. Somebody is asking, can they get to 20 wins? I mean, they'd have to win out in the regular season, or they'd have to win a game in the conference tournament. If they can go 3-1 down the stretch here, you would think that they could at least get, 1, because they'd be playing, one of the worst teams in the conference in the first round of the conference tournament. So you would hope, 3-1, get 1 at least there and get to 20. I think that's possible. Don't see it. He only has W's against Wyoming and CSU. So you got loss at Fresno and then a loss at home to San Diego State on senior night. Okay, that's interesting. I would think there's a better chance you lose at Colorado State than at home to San Diego State, to be honest, just because San Diego State's not playing great, and senior night, at home, big crowd. I think that's going to be tough going to Colorado State on their senior day with their crowd that's kind of bought back in. If the 6th seed is the worst, that's the one we'll get. Yeah, it usually works out that way. If that's the worst for the game times, worst for the fans, that's probably what it'll be. All right, Fairview and Cole has some optimism here. BSU going to win out. All right, I like the way you're thinking there. So, our boy Kanan Rogers says the 7 seed is what I want, which is what they currently have. So, that'd give you the 2 then if you win the first game. 7 seed's not terrible. Those games are a little bit earlier. I think that the 7-2 game is like the first game in the evening, like 6 o'clock. So you get the 6 o'clock starts instead of the 8:30s there in Vegas. So that does help out a little bit from that standpoint. But hey, well, it doesn't really matter at this point. They went down to and won at the pit. They should have won in triple overtime against San Diego State. Like, they've shown they can beat and play with pretty much anybody in this conference. They've also shown that they can lose to anybody, not only in this conference but on their schedule. I mean, they lost to a Division II team in the first game, as you guys all know. So I don't know, honestly, if it really matters. You're going to have to play good teams, beat good teams to win this thing. Obviously, Grand Canyon, probably not a great matchup for them. Utah State hasn't gone well the two times they've played them, outscored by like 40-something points. But you know what? As you saw in the Mountain West on Saturday, as we say, another night in the Mountain West. There's upsets left and right. Things happen. I mean, who would have had the parlay of Colorado State beating San Diego State, Wyoming winning at Grand Canyon, and Nevada beating Utah State on Saturday? 3 just massive upsets, and you almost had a fourth. New Mexico was down 20 points or something to Fresno State and came back and won 80-78 at Fresno. We always say every year, somebody wins at Fresno, somebody wins at San Jose. They sneak up and get somebody, and they almost got New Mexico. New Mexico badly could not afford to lose that game for their at-large hopes, and they were down 20 in the first half, I think it was, and New Mexico storms back and barely hangs on to beat Fresno by 2. But San Diego State loses. Grand Canyon loses a home game to Wyoming. And I mean, that tells you all you need to know about Wyoming having a chance to come in here to win tomorrow. If they can win at Grand Canyon, they can certainly win at Extra Mile Arena. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And then Utah State, coming off the big win against Boise State, and they go to Nevada. And Nevada's a solid team. They're 18-9, 10-6 in the league. Excuse me, Corey Camper. I mean, they got some good players, but Utah State, you want to. It's tough to win on the road in the Mountain West, and you also know that in the Mountain West, like, upsets happen, things happen. So we can dissect the standings and do all that, and in the end, you're going to have to play some tough teams, and it is what it is from that point. Conference tournament shooting is always rough. Defense travels. Our D is really struggling. I would say this year, I mean, maybe that's one of the, I know everyone's worried about the 4 games in 4 days, but I don't think that's a big deal for Boise State just because they have the legs and everything. And if you get to the 4th game, you're like, all right, we'll worry about that on Saturday. Like, you'd love to be in that position. At this point, that looks like not a very likely scenario. So, like, if you have to deal with that, you'll figure it out. But also, you do get that first game against San Jose to maybe get your legs, going and get some confidence in the gym. And then you go in there with kind of nothing to lose against the 2 seed who's sitting around all day. And we all remember it's happened to Boise State several. Tim Duryea's last win as the Utah State coach was against Boise State when Sam Merrill went off for 35 points because Utah State played the day before, got some confidence, got their feet wet, got their legs going in the gym, got feet rolling with a big win over a bad team. And Boise State sat around for like 7 other games during the tournament watching till 8:30 at night on Thursday. And they were the last team in the tournament to play. And they, came out flat, and Utah State was ready to go, and they got them in the 2-7 game, I think it was. Maybe it was the 3-6. And Boise State's lost multiple times as the 2 seed or 3 seed in that first game. So maybe they flip the script on somebody, and they get their feet wet and beat San Jose, and then come out and play with nothing to lose in the second game. I don't know. Not predicting it to happen. Not saying it will happen, but we've seen this scenario happen before. And at this point with this team, who really knows exactly how it's going to go? You just don't. Anybody that knows what they expect to see, they don't know what they don't know. I mean, I can predict what I think. You guys predict what you want, but it's been so like this season for Boise State that you really don't know what you're going to get. I mean, the for any of you that are diehards watching, would it really, really shock you if they win a couple games in Vegas and go on a little bit of a run? Like, I don't think it would shock you. I mean, you could, those of you that, this team's awful, they're checked out, whatever. Like, yeah, I'm sure it would shock all of you, but it might surprise you a little, but because they have, 8 conference losses right now, but they've also, like I said, shown they can play and beat some of the better teams in this conference. And with the way this conference has gone, it wouldn't shock me if they go on a run. Now, it also wouldn't shock me if they lost in the first game to San Jose. I mean, that probably wouldn't shock us either, right? Like, it's just been one of those years, and I would suspect it to continue to be one of those years right into the conference tournament at this point. Looking like a 1-bid league, unless Utah State loses in the conference tournament, then could get 2 in. I'm looking like that. Yeah, I mean, San Diego State, let's see what happens with them. They've still got the name cachet, and they've got some opportunities for some quad 1 wins coming up. I think the next 3 games for San Diego State are tough. They are home to Utah State on Wednesday. They're at New Mexico on Saturday, at Boise State on Tuesday next week. 3 really tough games for Utah State. So we'll have a much better idea on that discussion, next Wednesday when we see what San Diego State does against Utah State, New Mexico, and Boise in the next 3 games. So, no, this team can beat anyone and lose to anyone. Exactly. I really don't think it would shock you if they lose in the first game, and I really don't think it would shock you if they win 2 or 3 games, honestly. Like, it just how it works. And yes, if you are unfamiliar with the way the conference tournament works, if you win the conference tournament, you are guaranteed a spot in the NCAA tournament. So as bad as this season has been for Boise State, they find a way to win 4 games down in Las Vegas, and they are going to the NCAA tournament. So, I mean, when I hate to phrase it like this, but when Boise State goes down to Vegas, they will be 10 wins from a national championship. If Boise State goes on a 10-game winning streak, when they get to Vegas, they will win the national championship. That is what I love about college basketball, that every team has a chance. Every team, wipes the slate clean. And not to say the conference season doesn't matter, because it does for seeding purposes and things like that. And in some conferences, not every team gets into the tournament. So it does definitely matter. But when you get when the way it works out is, football, it's with the automatic bids and all that, like it's just not it's just different. And that's why I would love a 2014 playoff where or even bigger, where all 10 conference champions got in. I think that'd be cool. Put in every conference champion and then 14 other at-larges, or, and go to 24. I won't happen. I get it, but that's what I love about college basketball, that every team has a chance to win to win it all when you get down to your conference tournament, or at least those that make it, a good majority. Like I said, a couple conferences, number 14, 15, 16 teams, whatever, they're out of it or whatever. Some make it extremely hard with multiple buys and things, but you know what? They still have a chance. And I would like to see that in football. I don't know if it's going to happen, but yes, Boise State could go, Air Force, they're 0-18, I think, or 0-17 in conference play. Not going to happen, but guess what? Air Force gets to go down to Vegas knowing if they somehow get hot and win 4 games, Air Force is going to the NCAA tournament. It's, again, not likely, but it's cool for those kind of teams to be able to kind of show up in Vegas. And that's kind of why they're, Boise State's staying engaged here a little bit. I know there's the narrative that they don't like each other and the narrative that they're checked out and all this, but like, I haven't noticed that. I was at the game and in the post-game press conference and everything, and you watch in that last game, like how guys are pointing at each other after assists, and somebody scores a bucket and somebody else is fist pumping. And I haven't got that sense. People I've talked to around the program after some of those things were made by fans and other folks, I haven't had anyone tell me that to be the case at this point. So not saying it's not, I guess, because we don't 100% know. We're not in the locker room, but I can't say it is. I'll just say that. And so that's why I think it's a little easier to stay engaged when you have talent and you can play with everybody, that all you have to do is get hot at the right time and you can win this thing and go to the big dance. Like, as bad as this season has been and as bad as everybody wants, I shouldn't say everybody, some people want, Leon Rice and all that, fired and stuff. If they win the conference tournament and win a game in the NCAA tournament, it's suddenly the best season ever. So they still have a chance to make history. Not saying they will, or I predict them to, or it's likely they will, but this team still has a chance to do something no other team has never done. You don't know who I'm talking to, Bronco 130. I hate when folks kind of just make baseless comments like that. Boosters talk to coaches, other folks talk to coaches, folks that are in the locker room, like, and some people would tell me, they may say, don't report this or don't say this, but if there's, as much rift going on as it was made to believe last week, that would be coming out. Let's just say that. Okay. So I'm not saying people are wrong that have that feeling, because like I said, no one has specifically said, for sure that 100%, like I said, it is what it is. It's not, I don't think it's as cut and dry as some made it out to be. And I think that some of that stuff would get out more. And sure, people in this chat have friends on the team or think they know what's going on, and maybe they do talk to some people, but it was led to believe that, last week, based on some of the comments from folks, that it was, this team absolutely can't stand each other. Nobody likes each other. They don't talk to each other. It's just, you just get through the game. And that's not how it is. You saw the post-game interview when, Drew Fielder and Meadow were giving Keen crap for not having a 2-point field goal all conference play until that layup. You saw after Keen made the layup, pointing over at the bench because they had a little side bet or something going on. Like, these guys all don't like, maybe those just happen to be the 3 guys that like each other, that talk to the media and were involved in that play. I don't know. But I didn't see a lot of signs. If guys don't like each other and they're all checked out, you're doing a lot more one-on-one. You're not passing You're, not celebrating when other guys score. You're not, standing up on the bench and cheering when a teammate scores. Like, excuse me, all the signs of that happening, I didn't see on Saturday. So again, I'm not going to 100% say that every single player absolutely loves each other and they're all, all 12, 13 guys are hanging out. Again, I'm not trying to like defend it and say it's not happening, because I think maybe it's semantics. Maybe one guy's a little unhappy with one guy or something, but the fact that it's this widespread thing where nobody likes each other, I think you would have saw that in the way they played on Saturday if that were the case, and I didn't see anything to that effect. So we'll see what happens down the stretch. Maybe this team can bond together for a couple of weeks and go on some magical run. Or maybe there is something there. When the season's over, half the team will transfer and we'll find out more about it. And it is what it is. Jordan says, interesting to see the boosters and others that have eyes in practice push back on the narrative. Yeah. And I'm not saying Prater's wrong. I mean, I pay Prater. He's an employee of mine. Like I'm not, I can't confirm what he said. I wouldn't have probably been that strong with some of the comments, but Prater, it is what it is in terms of, the comments, and he said them on the radio, said them again. Someone's obviously telling him that, and that's fine. I haven't heard that, and I'm not going to go that strong on that. I was looking for that on Saturday, and frankly, I saw a lot of signs that would say the opposite. Like I said, guys scoring, other guys pumping their fists for them, other guys, celebrating on the bench. I just didn't see. And again, winning cures all. When you're winning, you can put that stuff to a side for a little bit. When you're losing, it comes front and center. I understand it. I get it. I just can't. BSU Bill, I feel like he talks to somebody or tries to give, educated takes here of what's happening. Rubs guys have is all NIL related. Who's getting what versus what they have left on the table. Well, that was done last spring. So I don't know why that would still be a huge issue right now. If you knew last April when they signed Fielder or Andrews what they were getting, you would have been, I think that you would have, that's a little interesting that that's now happening, because that was stuff that you knew about, way back when. And yeah, if you're Carmichael or Keene or, Meadow, and maybe you feel like you deserve a little more than you got. I mean, I hate to say it, but like, play better too. Like, I don't know if any of those guys are outplaying their projections to this point. I mean, are they? I mean, Meadows had a solid year, but I don't know if you'd say Meadow has been significantly better than last year. Carmichael, I don't think's been as good as last year. His shooting percentage is way down. I think he's a much better player than he's shown, and I think that's why I think I would bring him back if I was Boise State, because I think he has a lot of positive outlook. But Carmichael hasn't been great this year, and he'd tell you that. And even Keene, has done some things at times and hit a couple threes the other day and has had a solid season. But I don't know if he's been significantly better than he was last year. Certain players left a lot of money on the table last offseason, aren't happy with how it's played out this year. Shouldn't be surprising when talking about college kids and their maturity. Okay. Again, I assume you talk to somebody and think you know something there if you're going to get that specific on it. All I'm going to say is, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you're referring to there, so I'm just going to leave it at that, I guess. I mean, the money's been known since April, so I don't know what guys were told in terms of playing time or whatever. Maybe you're just talking about the record of the team versus what they left on the table. I don't know. But everyone's known how much everybody's been making since April. That also is something that happens in every locker room around the country. That one wide receiver is making more than another wide receiver versus a quarterback versus this guy. Basketball, you get a certain budget. They did spend a lot of money, and Drew Fielder and Dylan Andrews are the two highest paid players on the team, and they're both the transfers. I would say Drew Fielder is proven to be worth the money. Dylan Andrews has had some down times, but also some up times, and I think the verdict is kind of still out. What does he do down the stretch here with this team? I mean, if he, leads his team to a Mountain West championship and a win in March, then you're going to say, yeah, he was worth every penny. If they flame out, then you can probably say, yeah, he didn't. It may not have been worth it, but you know what? In the transfer portal era, NIL era, that happens. I guarantee you, every team is talking about how much guys are making and all this and that kind of stuff. But my whole point is, if it truly is, these guys can't stand each other, which is what it was kind of made to seem last year or last week. I didn't notice that. I didn't see that. Again, watch the games. Watch the practices, come to interviews. Like it's if you do that, you know what? Like I've been to some of these shoot-arounds on the road. They let me come to some of the shoot-arounds if I get there early enough in town. I can come watch kind of the pregame practice. Seeing these guys in the hotel room, or not hotel room, but the hotel lobby or whatever, so to speak. Sometimes I end up at the same hotel as them. But I really did yesterday try to watch the game on Saturday and like watch the guys, on timeouts and who's pulling them into the huddle, and are they, putting their head down when some guy takes a bad shot. Like I really did try to watch that on Saturday, and I didn't really notice too much at all of guys not happy with other guys. And like I said, Drew Fielder would take the ball and back his guy down and not pass it. And I don't want to say ball hog it, but like hang on to the ball for 12 seconds, passing the guy down and then putting a shot up. You didn't see guys put their head down. You see the ball go in, and you see Dylan Andrews pumping his fist. You see other guys passing it, scoring. I mentioned the RJ Keene play. That's a perfect example. Like he scores and right away starts talking trash to the bench and pointing over to the bench, and guys are all laughing because that was his first 2-point bucket of the season. Like, and in the press conference, Drew Fielder and Andrew Meadow were both were laughing and having a great time, giving Keene crap for not scoring. Like, it just doesn't sound like to me a team that, again, one guy here and there might be a little unhappy. He's not getting paid more. One guy wishes he was starting, whatever. Like no one's ever perfectly happy, but I didn't get a sense, and maybe I'm wrong. You guys can show me by watching that game on Saturday. And we're not in the locker room. We're not on the team bus, the team plane. I get it. We don't have a real understanding, and a lot of that stuff is kept under wraps. And there's probably a little more going on than we know. I'm not going to say nothing is going on. I'm not denying that. But last week after the Utah State game, it was just like, oh, this team can't wait for the season to be over. All these guys don't like each other, this and that. And I didn't see that on Saturday. If it's guys that don't like each other, they sure hid that pretty well in that game with how they were celebrating for each other, cheering for each other. And I know winning does kind of cure all, but I just didn't see it Saturday. I'll say that. Hey, keep getting your thoughts in, your comments in. I want to thank Lithia Ford of Boise, our title sponsor. Lithia Ford of Boise, online at lithiafordboise.com. They got some great deals right now on the new 2025, so they got to make way for those on the lot for the 2026s that are coming in. So never a better time to get a new vehicle. They've got pre-owned as well. And again, we appreciate Jim Sturk and company. Lithia Ford of Boise, online at lithiafordboise.com. Sun Cruiser, real iced tea, or real vodka, whether it's the vodka lemonades, the vodka iced teas, so many different flavors and options with Sun Cruiser. And if you haven't had it yet, I really recommend it. Perfect drink to sip on. If it's low carb, low calorie, and it's just a great beverage to sit around and sip on when you're watching a sporting event or hanging out by the hot tub or your kids' baseball game, whatever. Sun Cruiser, pick it up today at Jackson's or Ridley's Family Markets or your local gas station or grocery store. Hey, Idaho Central Credit Union, they're donating $25 for every made free throw in the home games at Extra Mile Arena. Boise State hit 15 free throws. That means $375 was donated by ICCU from the San Jose State win. Idaho Central Credit Union, online at ICCU.com. Make the switch today. Again, ICCU.com, and they are helping out in a big way with the Idaho Youth Sports Commission, a charity that we're close with. And again, another $375 donated from the 15 made free throws the other day. Today's the day. Today is the day. Get your 75-cent fountain drink from Jackson's using your Let's Go Rewards app. 75-cent fountain drink, and it's actually not even the app. You just type in your phone number that you have the rewards, and you get any size fountain drink for 75 cents 2 days after the Broncos score 75 points, and that's home or road games. And the Broncos got in the 80s on Saturday. That means today you get a 75-cent fountain drink out at Jackson's, any location, and tell them you heard about it on Bronco Nation News. That always helps as well. Jackson's 75-cent fountain drink. Get yours today. I hope you got your 83-cent taco yesterday from Taco Bell. TacoBellWorks.com, the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family. We appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News, and I always enjoy seeing the Nicolason family courtside there at the games. And when the Broncos score 83, you get a free taco if you take your ticket stub to Taco Bell. So hopefully yesterday you took your ticket stub from the app and got your free taco at Taco Bell, whether it's the breakfast quesadillas, the crunchy chicken strips, the Cantina Bowls, so many great options. Visit a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location today. And the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com, whether it's your Boise State gear, whether it's a hat, jersey, sweatshirt, bumper sticker, car flag, logo golf balls. I mean, they got it all. They got the location there at the Boise Town Square Mall where they have 14,000 hats on the hat wall. They also have the location there at the Allen Noble Hall of Fame where you can get your customized football or basketball jersey in minutes right there in the store. You can also order, of course, anywhere in the world online at the blueandorange.com. All right, a couple of comments coming in. Let's see. Come on, folks. Hit the like button. Let's see. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. We appreciate that. We're trying to get to 8,000 subscribers. Help us get to 8,000 by the start of football season. Tell your friends. We'd love to make that happen. We're like 400 away, I think. So if you're watching us on YouTube, sometimes it just shows up, but you're not actually a subscriber. Make sure it actually says subscribed down there at the bottom. It takes just only a couple seconds to do that. I would appreciate it if you would help subscribe and like our channel and tell your friends. And if you have multiple YouTube channels, multiple Gmail accounts, whatever, subscribe to all of them. Help us get over 8,000. We would appreciate that. Drew's post-game comments alluded to some stories you might tell after the season. Often don't see the adversity happening in these students' lives. Yeah, like I said, something's probably happening. I'm sure it's not all peachy, but I also don't think it's quite as bad as it was kind of painted to be last season or last week. I think that's fair to say, and everybody would probably agree. I just don't. I'm not saying I know everything. I don't. Obviously, BSU Bill apparently talks to players or knows what's going on. I'm not saying I know everything, and I'm not 100% saying nothing's happening. I'm just saying I saw the game on Saturday, and it didn't look like a team that hated each other, and I think it's probably somewhere in the middle of what was said last week in the narrative that kind of took off from that. But 84-69 was the final the other day. Drew Fielder, 20 points, 5 rebounds in 27 minutes. Andrew Meadow had 16 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. You had 12 from Dylan Andrews, 4 assists, also only 1 turnover. So Dylan Andrews, again, pretty efficient, 4 of 9 from the field, 4 assists, only 1 turnover in 28 minutes. Buchanan, Papa Buchanan's watching here. He has 11 points, 3 of 5 from the field in 31 minutes, 7 rebounds. Nice game for him. 11 points, 7 rebounds. Did have 2 assists in that game as well. Hit his only 3-point attempt and hit all 4 of his free throws. So was a rough one against Utah State for Javen, but he bounces back with a nice, solid 11-7 performance. And how about RJ Keene? We mentioned him. 8 points, hits 2 3-pointers, had a couple of rebounds, had an assist, and had that great play, maybe one of the plays of the season, that pass from Dylan Andrews, from a one side of half court, the overhand kind of bounce pass, one bounce, I believe it was, and RJ Keene catches it and lays it in. I mean, that pass from Dylan Andrews was maybe his best pass as a Bronco, and Keene got the layup there. That was a great play. And just an overall, a nice win. San Jose State was coming off. I know they've only won a couple games, in the recent weeks. They're not a great team on paper, on their record, stat-wise. But they hit 15 threes, a couple days earlier and beat Nevada. And they were coming in feeling really, really good. I mean, that Nevada team just beat Utah State. I mean, that tells you all you need to know about this Mountain West. On a Wednesday night or Tuesday night, whatever it was, Nevada loses to the 10th place San Jose State, 11th place San Jose State, whatever it is, now that there's 12 teams. So, one day you lose to the 11th place team, and literally 2 or 3 days later, you beat the first place team. That's just how crazy the Mountain West is right now. And San Jose State was coming off a really nice win, hit 15 threes. Boise State holds them to 1 for 10 in the second half. That 1 3 came with like 10 seconds left in the game and may have been significant to some. Because I believe that covered the spread. It was 17.5. They were up 18, and 3 made it 15 there. So that was their only 3-pointer of the second half, and they went 4 of 23 from 3-point range. So only 6 assists for San Jose State. So Boise State defensively, sure, San Jose State just missed some shots, but I thought Boise State did a pretty nice job. And 4 starters had to play 40 minutes in that game. Just unbelievable. 4 starters. 40 minutes in that game for San Jose, and they just kind of wore down the stretch. And so nice win for Boise State. As I said on the post-game show, we're not printing the Final Four tickets. It's not, it doesn't really change anything big picture. It is what it is. It was a win that got them back on track. It helps, take a little bit of a deep breath with some of the comments and things and all the fan angst out there about where this team is at. And we'll see what happens. Wyoming tomorrow, a little trickier game, only a 7-point, margin at Ken Palm. Wyoming's coming off a huge win. They just beat can't speak. They just beat Grand Canyon on the road at Grand Canyon. So Wyoming certainly is a team that has the talent to get you as well. I mean, they've only got 4 wins since January 6th. I mean, they're 4-8, I guess. 4-8 going back to January 6th, but they've got 2 wins in a row. They beat Fresno at home and they won at Grand Canyon, so they're playing a little bit better. And so we'll see. I think that Sundance Wicks has them competitive. I mean, 6 conference wins for Wyoming. That they're looking better, and they've got some solid players. They've got a couple big-time scorers. I know Boise State won that game pretty handily up there in Laramie, but they were without a player or two. Wyoming was one of their better guards, and so going to be an interesting game tomorrow. Boise State, again, projected to win 77-70 at Ken Palm. And you do look at the way Ken Palm projects the Mountain West standings here. He has UNLV, Boise State, and Colorado State all finishing tied at 10-10 in the conference. So that means he has Boise State going 2-2 over the last 4 with the algorithm of the kind of big picture. But he's got a 3-way tie for that'd be 6th place. UNLV, Boise State, Colorado State for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Not sure how all the tiebreakers would play out, but that is what his projection is. So we'll certainly keep an eye on that earlier. Already few Sun Cruisers in. No, not yet. Not yet. Probably will be later today. Actually need to finish my Rockstar here. I apologize. Been talking for 51 straight minutes without a break here. So not yet, but maybe this evening. The big Kansas-Houston game, as I said. We'll be watching that tonight. Looking forward to that. I do have a cool announcement. I mentioned this on the pregame show, but I want to talk about it a little more here in a second about what we're going to be doing for the Fresno State game. So keep getting your comments and your thoughts in. I want to thank a few more sponsors here, but the Fresno State game on Saturday, got something cool we're doing. I want to tell you about that in a second. But first, Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com. Whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, or an inspection, all your roofing needs, check out Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com. Put a new roof on our house, and I can't begin to tell you how awesome it is. It was done quick. They come out, the whole process, talk you through it, pick out the shingles and things you want, and it was a very easy process, well worth the price, and affordable, and just a great deal. So Signature Roofing, that's how we got connected with them, and it was great, and you'll really enjoy it if you make the switch. So if you need a new roof, or maybe just a repair to your roof, or you want to get in, like I said, an inspection, an estimate, reach out to Joel and the folks out at Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com. Hey, Bauscher Real Estate, looking to buy or sell a home? Matt Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley, the state of Idaho, and now the entire Northwest. That is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Check them out online at bauscherrealestate.com. Helped us buy and sell our home. Tremendous customer service every step of the way. We appreciate Matt and his team, and you can check them out online at bauscherrealestate.com. Hey, if you need a new fence, now's the time. This weather's been unbelievable. We had outdoor baseball practice yesterday. We're outside again tonight. Element Fencing, decks, pergolas, fences, cedar, wrought iron, vinyl, 25 plus years. Brady and Company in the fencing industry, and the personal attention you'll get. The owner, Brady, will work directly with you on your project and making it fit exactly with your space and your needs and what you're looking for, and so many different options. So if you're on the fence, about your next fencing project, now's the time. elementfencing.com, 631-2790. Give them a call. Ask for Brady. Tell them you heard about it on Bronco Nation News. They'll hook you up with a great deal. Element Fencing. Hey, Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. Check them out, shopridleys.com. Locations across the state of Idaho, surrounding states. Shopridleys.com. Again, you can find a location near you, and they got some great deals going on right now, and love that Cuno location and just the ease of it. And like I always talk about, the personal, just the friendly staff, the environment. You walk in there, you don't feel the large, conglomerate chain. You just feel like it's more your hometown grocer. And I saw the Rupert location when I stopped off to get gas coming back from Logan the other day. So they're all over the state of Idaho. You're looking to support somebody that definitely supports Boise State in a big way. Make sure you hit up Ridley's Family Markets. Rowpaint.com. Rowpaint.com, 20% off your winter painting projects at rowpaint.com, whether it's those interior, exterior painting, the concrete coatings, or their world-famous Painter for a Day project. You provide the paint, they provide the painter, and it's a great option if you're looking to get some touch-up work done or just have a couple walls painted in your house. Rowpaint.com. Check them out. More information online, rowpaint.com. And transportation compliance service, if you're looking to get into the trucking industry, Transportation Compliance Service can help you do that. Transportation Compliance Service. You can get into the trucking industry at Transportation Compliance Service, transcompservice.com. Transportation Compliance Service can help you get into the trucking industry every step of the way. And whether it's DOT, overweight permits, everything you need, they're a local company. They're helping out folks all over the United States get signed up. And you can do that at transcompservice.com. All right. Okay, so Fresno State, we got the game tomorrow. Wyoming, 7 o'clock. Hope to see you at Extra Mile Arena. We'll have the normal 6 o'clock pregame. You'll have the game broadcast, and then you have the postgame show, pregame, postgame on BNN. We won't have tomorrow's game streaming, but pregame, postgame on Bronco Nation News. Pregame, postgame. That'll be 6 o'clock start, and we'll be on probably 9:30 or so after the game ends. Normal game tomorrow. Saturday, Fresno. Super excited about this. Not because I don't have to go to Fresno, although that is very nice. At this point in the season, I'm about road tripped out for the time being. So I do not have to go to Fresno. It's a tough place to get. 2 plane flights, layovers. So that part is nice. But I am not going to Fresno on Saturday because we are going to try the first ever official BNN cast. I guess we can't call it a Manning cast, but the first ever BNN cast. We are going to stream the game on BNN. We've done that for a couple of the home games that you guys have watched here on BNN. We pull in the Mountain West Network feed. We've done it for the home games where we come in and talk on commercials, but during the game itself, you get the Mountain West Network broadcasters, whether it's Jay Tust, whether it's Brian King, whoever it is, Nick Duncan. There's the problem is there's a 20-second delay. The feed I get from the Mountain West Network is a 20-second delay, so I can't broadcast the home game live or talk over that because I've seen the basket happen while you're still 2 possessions behind on the screen on the feed that we're sending into the TV. It just doesn't sync up. It doesn't work. So all along I've been saying this was kind of made for someone that's not at the game to do because you could be watching on the same feed as everybody else is and then provide more of a traditional broadcast or commentary over the actual game and not just on the commercials. So with that all said, I did talk to the Creator Sports Network. And if you've noticed, there's been a Colorado State female athletes. UNLV had some players do it the other day where they stream the game straight to their social media channels through an NIL deal, and it was kind of a big deal. That's the same company that I've been working with, for a while here, and they have some really cool stuff they're doing. They have a deal with the Mountain West that allows us to have the rights to these games and stream them. Long story short, we found out that the Fresno Boise State game on Saturday is one of the games they have the feed for and the rights to. So I decided, all right, how about I skip going to Fresno, and how about we try to do an entire game broadcast of this game? It's going to be a mixture of regular play-by-play and telling stories and talking about the team and taking your comments throughout the game. Mason looks like he's going to Fresno. Yeah, if you can send him horizontal, and yeah, let's talk about this. Send me an email. I might even pay you to help me out, man. Send me an email, rains@bronconationnews.com. Maybe I can send you $100 or something on Venmo to help get me some videos for the pregame show. Email me, rains, RAINS, @bronconationnews.com. But with that said, we'll have the normal pregame show. I'm hoping Abe Jackson can join me remotely, or else we'll tape that interview ahead of time. Abe Jackson will join me on the pregame show. And you know what we might do? We might just do that. We might say 5 o'clock. The game's at 5:30. We might just say 5 o'clock. I'll tape the interview with Abe, and we'll go from there, because I don't know if we needed to go a full hour pregame if we're not in the arena and if we can't show you that. So we're going to say 5 o'clock start time on Saturday. And so we're going to have our pregame show. We'll try to get you a little look at warm-ups, but it won't be as much as usual since I'm not going to be at the game. But at 5:30, when the game starts, we'll pull in the Mountain West Network feed, but we're going to keep it on mute, and we'll talk. And you'll have myself, Nathan, hopefully Johnny, hopefully Tust, hopefully some other special guests, former players. The one former player that we have confirmed is Tyson Degenhart. They play at noon that day on Saturday, and he said he would jump on during the game afterwards. So Tyson Degenhart's going to jump in. I'm going to try for Max Rice. Maybe we'll see what Alvaro Cardenas is up to in Spain. I wanted to wait till this week so it wasn't too early out to try to talk to some of these guys. But bottom line, join us on Saturday. watch the Fresno State game right here on BNN. If you can figure out how to do it on your smart TV, most of you I think do. But if you have the YouTube app on your TV, you can still watch us full screen on your TV like you normally would. And we will have the full broadcast, but you won't have to listen to the Fresno State announcers that know nothing about Boise State and our homers call this game. You can hear the Boise State side of things. I'll provide some play-by-play. You can hear my best, Bob Costas impression here. I'll be hosting the show, hosting the game coverage, and we'll broadcast the game. But as I said, we'll get Tyson Degenhart to come in. We'll try to get Max Rice to come in. We'll get some players to come in, and we'll kind of have a celebration of Boise State basketball, I guess, so to speak, on the broadcast. Talk to some former players, take your comments, take your questions. It'll be an interactive broadcast. And again, the entire game, we will broadcast the game. In the past, during the commercials, we'd talk, but during the actual game, we would turn it down, and you would just listen to the broadcast from the Mountain West Network. We don't have to do that because when I'm not at the game, I can take the feed at the proper timing, and I will just broadcast the game myself. Our guests will help broadcast the game. Commentators, we're going to get Travis Hawks on. We're going to get Matt Boucher on. We're going to have a lot of fun. And like I said, we'll be taking your comments and questions throughout the game. So make plans now on Saturday. Watch the game with us. Fresno State, 5 o'clock, we'll start the pregame show. 5:30 is the game broadcast right here on BNN. So I don't know if you guys watch mostly on your phone, on your tablet or not, but if you can figure it out on your TV, all you need is the YouTube app. And you go to Bronco Nation News on YouTube. You can still watch the Fresno State game on Saturday, full screen on your TV like you normally would. It'll just be through the BNN YouTube channel, and you'll be able to get more of a BNN-centered broadcast and not the Fresno State broadcast. So make plans to join us on Saturday at 5 o'clock for that. But first things first, tomorrow, Wyoming, sneaky tough game, only favored by 7 at Ken Palm. We'll be live at 6 o'clock with the pregame show. Tomorrow, Jay Tuss will join me. We'll preview the game, get you ready to go on a game day. Again, the Sun Cruiser Studios. Pick up a Sun Cruiser. Let the good times cruise, whether it's that vodka iced tea, vodka lemonade. Appreciate Sun Cruiser. And again, cannot wait for tonight. Kansas, Houston. You guys know I'm diehard. You can see my diploma to KU right there above the Sun Cruiser sign. I mean, that's my diploma from the University of Kansas. Blood, sweat, and tears. 4.5 years at Kansas. Yeah, it took me the extra half semester. I could have finished in 4, but I was having so much fun. I stretched it out another half a semester. But looking forward to some college basketball tonight. So if you're a college hoops fan, I think, is it North Carolina, Louisville? There's another game first, and then 7 o'clock, Kansas. And the quality should be just as good as it would be normally if you're streaming it online. Depends on your internet. I've got the highest internet here at my house. The other ones were done in Boise on Ethernet at the home game, so it should have still been good. But I have the highest fiber internet you can have, and they send me the feed, and I just put it right through. So it kind of depends on your internet connection, but it should be the same quality as it would be if you're watching it on the Mountain West Network app. Frankly, it's the exact same feed, and it's coming right through. It should be exactly the same quality or close to it, frankly. So that should not be a problem because I'm going to be broadcasting it right here from the Meridian Studios, and I'll be watching it as you guys do, and we'll have, like I said, special guests come in. It's going to be a lot of fun. Saturday sounds cool. Look forward to Saturday. Saturday is going to be fun. Yeah, appreciate you guys. So make plans to join us Saturday at 5 o'clock here on the BNN YouTube channel to watch Fresno State and Boise State. Okay, 5.5 years, Real Candid Trader. All right. I don't feel as bad then, 4.5. But anyway, if you're a college basketball fan, you got some games tonight, and then there's 4 games tomorrow night, Boise State being one of them against Wyoming at 7 o'clock. So we'll see you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. with Jay Tust. Leon Rice, some players are talking this afternoon. We'll get those up on our YouTube channel. Again, subscribe to the YouTube channel right here at the bottom of the screen. Please like this video as well on your way out. Tell your friends about us. And again, this is a free show, folks. I know folks don't always agree with my opinions, don't always agree with how I do things. That's perfectly fine. Nobody has to. It's a free world. But this show is free, and just keep that in mind. And I appreciate all of our sponsors that make this show free. So when you're thinking about getting gas, when you're thinking about going to get lunch, please support Taco Bell. Please support Jackson's. All of our great sponsors. I got, don't want to miss one by listing them all, but you see a lot of the main ones on the screen here. Please support the sponsors, folks, and keep this show free of charge on YouTube. We could not do it without all of our major sponsors. Of course, our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, lithiafordboise.com. Go check them out on Fairview Avenue. like I said, they're taking care of players on NIL deals, coaches, administrators. You see the Ford logo all over the stadium. Nobody supports Boise State, more than Lithia Ford of Boise. So we appreciate them for stepping up, becoming our title sponsor this year, and appreciate Jim Sturk, Jamie Drake, the whole crew over there. I know when it's time for the Raines family to get that our minivans on its last leg, and we're going to be going to Lithia Ford of Boise here whenever that time comes. So hopefully you will as well. Lithia Ford of Boise, support them. You're supporting Boise State. You're supporting BNN, and we appreciate Lithia Ford of Boise. And as I mentioned, Sun Cruiser, perfect time to get some Sun Cruisers, whether it's at Jackson's, whether it's at Ridley's, your local gas station, grocery store. A lot of you folks tell me you never try it, and then you finally have one. You're like, wow, that's pretty good. And I don't even like tea, and I still like these because it's just you don't really taste the tea. It's that perfect mixture of the flavor and the vodka, and it's perfect. So check out the Sun Cruiser. And as always, folks, take a picture of yourself supporting one of our sponsors, post it on social media, tag us, and we'll try to get you some sort of gift card or get you entered to win a prize pack at some point. So thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate you. Support the sponsors. Go check out BroncoNationNews.com. Chris has some great recruiting coverage up there. Nathan's got his analysis. Prater, myself, BroncoNationNews.com. And you can come chat with us in the message boards. Good discussion here in the YouTube chat today, the ICCU YouTube chat. But if you want to keep that going 24/7, no pun intended, you can go to our message boards. We have free message boards. Just create a free account, and whether it's the football board or the basketball board, you can get in there and chat for free and ask some questions. Johnny's in there. I'm in there. Prater's in there. Nathan, Chris, we're all in there chatting with folks, answering questions. And we do have our VIP board for paying subscribers where you can get more information from Chris on guys visiting for recruits and how he's feeling about guys trending and committing and things like that, and all kinds of inside info in the VIP board. So $6 a month right now. Still have our 50% off annual rate going. So if you want to jump in, subscribe to BNN, help us out. We're getting ready to travel down to the Mountain West Tournament and have all kinds of coverage down there in a couple of weeks, men's and women's. And then obviously spring ball is fast approaching as well. So fun time to be covering Boise State here as we get down the final home stretch for basketball, get ready for spring ball, and then football season will be here before we know it. So subscribe right now at BroncoNationNews.com. Subscribe here on YouTube. Tell your friends. Hit that like button on the way out. And we appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Again, my name's BJ Raines, and we've been in the Sun Cruiser Studios. Our title sponsor is Lithia Ford of Boise. Have a great rest of your day. We're going to go talk to Coach Rice and some players. We'll get those posted online on our YouTube channel this afternoon. And, man, hour and 7 minutes solo here today. So it's one thing I've never had a problem with is talking. So appreciate all of you that checked it out today. Thanks a lot. As I said, support the sponsors. Go subscribe. And we'll see you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Bronco Nation News Live here at BroncoNationNews.com. Take care, everybody.